Welcome back. I'm Bernadette Logue and I'm here with my dear friend Patricia Varley, bringing you part two of our audio coaching series, Confessions of a Spiritual Nomad. Welcome along, Patricia.
Hello, Bernadette. It's great to be back, and hello to all of our listeners to part two of
And I hear that
Confessions
you're
of a
joining us
Spiritual.
from somewhere on the mainland in the United States
Yeah,
today, not,
our
not in
last
Hawaii.
call recording, I was in Maui. Now I'm in the Connecticut, New York area on the East Coast. So I'm being a nomad. I'm moving around.
Gorgeous. So in part one, we brought you the topic co-creating with the universe. So we were talking all about how to transition through change with the divine. And today we're moving on to talk about our topic breakdowns to break through. So what we want to share with you today is how Patricia and I as spiritual nomads have dealt with breakdowns, what comes out of those, and being able to see the gift in the challenges that we face in life and really bringing you a whole new perspective on what challenges are and how you can benefit from those. So we're going to start a little bit and just tell you about what our own perspective as spiritual nomads is on this whole topic of challenges. Do you want to start on that conversation, Patricia?
Sure, I'd be happy to, Bernadette. Well, when you're committed to a spiritual path, if you're committed to a spiritual path, whether you're nomadic and you're moving around or in your thinking or whatever, it really is a path of transformation. What we have to realize is transformation is different from change. Often with transformation, there is a breakdown. There's a letting go of an old life, an old way of thinking. There's a death of an old way of being. And in that, we transform into something, someone, a consciousness, a mindset, a job, a way of relating, a way of loving that we never have before. So an important part of, we talk about the confessions of a spiritual nomad, is to just accept that we're on a transformational journey in life. And things are not static. They're moving. Things are moving. They're changing. They're growing. So to the extent that you can be willing, which is what Bernadette and I have done and have continued to get practice doing, is to accept that there are gifts and opportunities for growth and understanding and awareness and freedom in any of the challenges and obstacles we may encounter and often do in our lives. Because we're all encountering obstacles and challenges, whether they're outside of us or within us. But to the extent that we can be open to allowing and going through those challenges, the gifts and the treasures can emerge. We can have the opportunity to grow and to expand more into the fullness of who we are. So by letting go of what no longer serves us, it does take courage and the commitment to grow on this spiritual path. And it makes the space for the new beginning, the new thinking, the new relationship, the new job, whatever it is, to come in. If our space and time is being filled up with that which we don't want to let go of, there's no space for the new to come in. But it does take awareness and
Mm.
courage to do that. Don't you think,
Mm.
Bernadette?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I used to look at this whole idea of gifts and challenges and think it was being taught to me, if you like, through what I was reading and the kind of spiritual coaches that I was following, as just a positive mindset, so a positive take on a negative part of life. But having taken this road as a spiritual nomad, I think what I've come to see is that it's not that we're looking for a gift in the challenge, it's that the challenge is the gift. And that might sound like semantics, but actually I think it's a really important distinction to make, is that from my own experience, I've had some particularly challenging and dark times on the path to go through this transformation of self. This is not about the external aspects of what I do in my life. It's about the breakdown of who I thought I was and coming to know who I really am, that transformation. I came to see that those dark times were an absolute gift for me to be able to see things really clearly, for me to be able to realize who I was not in order to understand who I really was, and that without those particularly challenging circumstances, I never would have made that distinction. And so then therefore I would never have been able to become the person that I know I am and that now I can be in the world. So there's that big difference between just sort of taking a positive mindset on a challenge and saying, well, I'll look for the bright side, versus this challenge is in my life as a gift to sometimes force the transformation of self. And that's happened for me in relationships. It's happened for me in my career and my health. When you get pushed to what it seems is the extreme and you think life is beating down on you, the path of a spiritual nomad is to see that that beating down on you is in fact the divine co-creating, just like we talked about in part one, co-creating with you in a way that seems to you unexplainable, seems to be something that you can't see the bright side of at the time. But in fact, what we're talking about today is that when you're in the midst of that breakdown is to have deep, deep faith that there is something really transformational being given to you in that time of challenge. And learning how to embrace that so that you can actually move through that challenge, I think, with greater peace. Because I don't know about you, Patricia, but I think one of the most important things I'm passionate about sharing with people about dealing with challenges is to be able to let go emotionally and stop gripping on feeling like something is wrong.
Yes.
Because
Hmm.
when I'm coaching people, I'm hearing a lot of people say that they feel like something's wrong. It shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't feel like that. Life shouldn't be like this. I'm faulty, I'm broken, why has everybody else got it together and I don't? When you're having these breakdown situations, something seemingly going wrong in your life, and it's really important to emotionally let go of your grip on those thoughts, because those thoughts are pervading you and causing your distress. When you can let go and understand that there is nothing wrong with you at all, and in fact this challenge is likely to be the making of you and is likely to take you to that next level in your own evolution.
Well, and I think what you're saying is so incredibly powerful. And it's actually interesting because today I saw a quote that said, let go or be dragged. It's like, I mean, if when we don't let go, if we don't let go and we're meant to
Uh-huh.
evolve to the next level, or what is serving us no longer serves us, even if it's a comfortable pattern or is familiar, we will get dragged. And that's what happens to us. But I think you said something that's key, because being a coach myself is I see that people somehow internalize that there must be something wrong with them. And really, that's not the case. Yes, we need to all look at our behaviors and be honest with ourselves and be in integrity. But when things begin to change, it's not that there's something wrong with us. It's that we're evolving to the next level, and the power to witness our life opportunity as our life is opportunities to shift. Let's say we have a recurring habit or an issue. We keep attracting the same kind of relationship. We keep ending up in the same position with our job. We keep having the same health problem. I mean, that's often I find when people start to hire me as a coach. I don't know what it's like for you, Bernadette. It's they
Mm.
keep doing the same thing in the same way over and over and nothing's changing. So we have to look at, the same thing with different eyes. And that's where, allowing ourselves to break down, to let go, and to see the change itself as the very gift to bring us to the next level of evolution, the next level of experience, is that which helps us become more of who we're meant to be. And
Mm.
we have the stronger your commitment to your evolution and growth, the greater, the more you're going to move out of your comfort zone. And I don't know if you know Neil Donald Walsh, he wrote Conversations with God.
Mm-hmm.
He just put, it's funny, I've been seeing all these quotes lately. I guess they were meant for our talk today. It says, your new life starts at the end of your comfort zone.
Mm.
It's like if you really want to begin, I wish it was always comfortable. And sometimes there's ease and grace and flow when we move into things. But very often, if we want to create a new time relationship or more abundance in our work or more creative expression or healthier body or whatever, it often involves moving out of our comfort zone into something that's unfamiliar. And it could feel like a breakdown, but that's the breakthrough. And that also ties in our first talk, which is that's where our faith and our co-creation with spirit really bring these two together in a very profound and transformational way.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'm reading A Course in Miracles at the moment, and there's a beautiful part in A Course in Miracle that says once you understand the role that the divine has to play in your life, and you understand how it does co-create with you and does carry you along your path, then why would you worry about flapping your little sparrow wings when the wings of a mighty eagle are carrying you? And I think it's that
Oh, it's
concept is to
beautiful.
understand when you're in breakdown that you're not alone. And I think for me, I look back and I think, how have I managed to continue walking this path when it has been so challenging? Logic would say, turn back, go back to what you know is comfortable. And what carries me through is I know for a fact with every fiber of my being that I'm here for a particular reason and that I'm fully supported by divinity in that path. And so I have no fear about continuing that path. I have fear in moments, but I don't have fear about the overall path that I'm taking. And I think we talked a lot about that, having faith in the original, in part one audio that we did. And I think, one of the things that I've read a lot in different books and analogies, and I wrote about it in one of my books, is this whole idea about how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And I think this is such a beautiful and really resonant analogy to talk about in today's audio topic. And that is that in order for a caterpillar to transform to a butterfly, it literally within the cocoon has to completely dissolve, like its actual form, the cells of its body, everything collapses into a state of seeming chaos, but then from that chaos, that being reshapes itself under the pressure and actually comes out in its highest form as the butterfly. And I think that's something that, if you think about your own situation when you're in breakdown, is to say, what is this situation teaching me? What is this situation gifting me for me to be able to reform myself, to reshape myself into a higher consciousness, into a different perspective, in order for me to fly in my life to the next level. And I'm really passionate about people taking away from today some key ideas about how you can actually challenge and question yourself when you're in a difficult situation about what the gift might be for you. And I think that that's really important, because sometimes when we're in a breakdown situation, I don't know how you feel about this, Patricia, but you don't really feel like reaching out to other people. You kind of want to keep your
No,
breakdown to yourself, but you need to reach
well, you
out.
do, and it's important to get support. Number one, whether it's through a coach or a trusted friend or a therapist, I mean, whatever it may be. The other thing is even to do a written exercise where you get really honest with yourself, or take a journal and write down, that which you're willing to let go of, that no longer serves you. Okay. So what do you know you need to let go of? Okay. So identify what that is. And you may not always know what the future is going to bring, but you can put a hope or a dream or intention of what you might like to bring into your future. But I think part of it is you say, is this no longer serving me? And if you look at, it could be a relationship or a job or a behavior or a thought pattern, to be honest when you're in resistance to what is this really been serving me? Usually you'll get the answer no. And to kind of bless it and release it. And when you do that, and we can kind of accept and relax where we're at, that's when things can shift to get the clarity about what's next. What's scary about breakdowns or these kinds of transitions is that a lot of times we want to be in control. We want to feel safe, and we want to know what's coming next before we're willing to let go. Wouldn't you say that, Bernadette? And
Yeah,
it's not always
absolutely.
that case, and that's why it's so difficult for people. But so often, we just have to have faith. And I always say, as I stay open to the infinite possibilities of what the universe can provide, because this is often out of our radar screen. If we have a radar screen like an air traffic controller, let's say something isn't working and all we can see is what's right in front of us, but 80% of what's coming we can't see. So we
Mm.
have to be willing to step back and allow the other 80% to come into our life. But if we're clouded by fear and holding on and grasping to what is because it's familiar, then we have to let the reins go and take a breath and trust and step back, and our vision will become greater. It will become more expansive. And then we can ask, show me the highest good. Help me have the courage. It's important to do that. Whether you pray or ask for higher self or ask somebody to help you, help me see the truth. It's usually out of what we can see in the moment, especially if we're in a place of fear. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's so valuable, Patricia. And I think this idea of practically sitting down, being able to write it out, what is it that you're gripping onto? What is it that isn't working for you? What is it that you're willing to let go of? And actually stating that you're ready to see the gift. Stating that you're ready to let go and that you're open to new infinite possibilities that you can't yet see. That act of just saying that declaration is incredibly powerful. I think people underestimate how powerful it is to declare something and to just have a moment to invite in the gift from a challenge, to invite in the insight that will help pull you through that situation and come out the other side with your butterfly wings on. And that really is all that it takes, are those simple exercises. So I think if you're in a situation where you're facing great challenge, just take that time out for yourself. Take the time out to do that exercise as Patricia's just outlined. And for me, the most important thing I've found in the breakdown situations that I've had throughout this journey has been reaching out. Just full stop. I don't believe that we are designed to achieve our breakthroughs in isolation. I believe that the connections that we form with people in our lives are twofold. They are designed to trigger us to break down. So people have a big role to play in triggering us to help us see what is not serving us in our life. And I believe that the connections that we have with relationships in our lives are the support structure to bring us through those breakdowns and to break through. So for me, I reach out to particular sisters I've got, to my parents, to Aaron, to Patricia, to other people in my life, and they have been fundamental in supporting me to see the breakthrough, because the conversation, like Patricia and I are having now, conversation is a beautiful tool. It's the opening to allow you to have new insight.
And we need each other, particularly during these difficult times. And it's okay to sometimes to have moments of quiet and reflection and meditation, or get some rest or go into nature. But like I said, Bernadette, you and I have shared so much on our mystic journeys, our nomadic journeys over the years, when we had moments of doubting and trusting and feeling blocked or scared or emotional or whatever. And we've really helped each other to see it differently, because we're all human. We're growing spiritually, we're growing in our divinity, but we're still in a human experience, and there's going to be moments that are really, really challenging. And the other thing I would say is really be careful what you ask for, because many of us want to grow. We want to fully live and work at our optimal. We want the best relationship that we can have. So the powers that be, the universe, is like, okay, this is what you want. I'm happy to give it to you, but this is the area you need to work on. And by the way, you want to let these things go because they're getting in the way. I have some
Yeah.
things that I've been challenged with lately around my identity, that's had to do with work and money, but I had no idea was getting in the way. None. In terms of me
Mm.
being more deeply authentic, more feminine, more receiving, more in my heart. I had no idea. We're so close to ourselves, we don't even know what's in the way. So the willingness to just surrender and trust, and I'm not saying that this is easy work, but it is so worth it, because in that reveals our true self. And then we can really navigate in the world, in a way that is much easier. And we talk about the law of attraction, but then the breakthrough starts when we get to the breakthrough and we can open to receive our good and what's next. That's when things really start to come in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very well said. I think, Patricia, that's a great note to finish our audio coaching session today on. And I just invite everyone to stay tuned for part 3 in our coaching series, which will release to you. If you'd like to receive that direct to your inbox, you can pop onto our websites and subscribe to receive emails from us. Patricia, would you like to share your website address again?
Sure. I invite you to contact me through patriciavarley.com. Patricia Varley, that's with V's in Victor, Varley.com.
Perfect, great. And my website that I run with my husband is pinchmeliving.com. It's pinchmeliving.com. So you can connect with Patricia and I on our websites. We've both got a lot of other information and coaching materials, reading materials on our websites, as well as the opportunity to subscribe to receive part 3 of this free audio coaching series. And if you know anyone who might benefit from the words that we've shared today, the words that we shared in the part 1 of the series, please do share it. We've created it just out of our passion for reaching out and helping other people that want to take the same path that we're taking in life to transform into the best versions of ourselves that we can be. So thank you very much, Patricia, for joining us from Connecticut.
And hello to you in New Zealand, Bernadette. As always, it's a joy to work with you, and thank you to all of our listeners today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.